going to pieces. When he walked in the door, she just had to see him. She can't wait no more. Tonight he'll be with her. No.
Founded in 1870, Lake County is the fifth smallest county in Tennessee. Located in the northwest corner, bordering Obion County as well as Kentucky and Missouri. The county encompasses 163 square miles with a 2010 census population of 7,832 people. Roughly 18.6% or 30.4 square miles of Lake County are covered by bodies of water, one of which is Reelfoot Lake, which was created by the New Magic earthquake in 1811 and 1812. Although small, Lake County earned the 94th spot on the list of top 100 counties with the most evangelical denominations at hearings. Lake County can be characterized as an agricultural county with a feeling demeanor and a small town feel.
The Team for Success focus group paid special attention to the differences between the two major cities that make up Lake County, which are Ridgely and Tiptonville. While researching this topic, we found that there were mixed feelings on the separation or lack thereof. This is a tale of two cities.
I would say that when you're young, you don't necessarily hang out with people from the other city in the county because you don't have transportation. Unless you're kin to them, then you hang out with those people. The older you get, I think the mixing, it starts to happen. You know, you might go to Ridgely and stay down there all day, or they might come up here and stay up here all day. I think it gets better with time, you know, and now in this day and generation with technology, with the phones, with the online gaming, things of that nature, you can stay connected to people more than you could when I was growing up. So I wouldn't even say it's a rivalry now. Matter of fact, looking at some of the sports teams, a lot of the kids are from Ridgely.
So would you say that the rivalry between Ridgely and Tiptonville was worse back when you were a child, or it is now?
It was worse back then when I was a child. Cause the boys and the girls, you know, they had really a rival. Cause the boys in Ridgely didn't want the boys in Tiptonville come and mess with the girls in Ridgely. They didn't like that at all. But the girls in Ridgely loved the boys in Tiptonville. They crazy about it. Cause see, my girlfriend was from Ridgely. They didn't like that.
Oh yes, oh yes.
Did you?
They played ball at Ridgely also. Tiptonville and Ridgely played against each other. There was a place down there in Ridgely where the people in Tiptonville would go to Ridgely.
I went to Ridgely Elementary School, junior high school for 2 years, played football junior high, and that's about the only time I'd go to Ridgely. I didn't go too much. I didn't spend too much time in Ridgely. Because back then, when growing up, it's not like it is now. We didn't have cars to go everywhere. Most families had 1 to 2 vehicles per family. Most of them just 1 vehicle per family. So, you know, you stayed around close to your own town.
Were the schools integrated? I would not say there was a problem. Integration was relatively, I guess you say, smooth in a sense. The students didn't have a serious choice about where they wanted to go to school because integration was done by grades. And as Lincoln closed, they, like the 12th graders went first, the next year the 11th graders, and on down until Lincoln was the 6th grade, was just 1 through 6 elementary. So the junior high took in all of the 7th and 8th graders, and the high school took in all of 9 through 12. So the students didn't really have a choice. If they went to school, they went where it was integrated.
Would you say when you were growing up that there was a rivalry between Tiptonville and Ridgely?
When I was growing up, probably not, because at that time, you know, when the new high school was built, then Ridgely and Tiptonville became one. You know, they became one county. And I was not old enough to know that rivalry between Tiptonville and Ridgely, because when I went to junior high, I went to Ridgely, and they treated us just like one of them. And then we went to high school together, so there was really no rivalry between Ridgely and Tiptonville at that time. Now, I've heard during the years that there were rivalries, you know, but once the high school consolidated and the junior high consolidated, just a few years after that, the rivalry went away.
In my generation, not so much. The rivalry we had was more so between counties. Obion County was always our biggest rivalry. You know, I've no history of the county, and because there was different sets of schools between Tiptonville and Ridgely, and I know the old rivalries that used to be there. But being as I'm mid-30s, we all went to school together. You know, granted I started in Tiptonville, but junior high ended up in Ridgely, so there was no big rivalry between city versus city.
When I first came here, there was not only the rivalry from the jealousy between the two schools, but there was jealousy amongst the population, and that's gone now. I rarely hear anything about the comparison in the two cities. Like I say, one's residential, one's very commercial, and one's smaller than the other, but I don't see any jealousy anymore.
Why do you feel that Ridgely and Tiptonville were so separate? Like, was there a rivalry between Tiptonville and Ridgely when you were a child?
I had to get it there. You know, Ridgely always, they thought they were better than Tiptonville. The majority of them thought they were better than people in Tiptonville. But I still have, now all my friends were from Ridgely, but I got that feeling when I would go down to Ridgely, and they be talking about Tiptonville like I wasn't from Tiptonville, you know. I said, oh Lord. And that's how I got the feeling that they thought they were better than people in Tiptonville.
You just see a lot of comparison about which kids in both cities are better. I mean, that's about it. I mean, not too many lies going around, but that's the main focus of it all.
People from Ridgely went to school up here in Tiptonville, they went home because they didn't have a way back up here. So a lot of activities that we had, the games that we played rather, were just kids from Tiptonville, from the neighborhoods. It was kind of like, you know, we're Tiptonville, they're Ridgely, you know. If we come to an event together, that's fine. If not, leave them down there, because I think we always felt like Tiptonville was better than Ridgely.
Why did y'all think that?
Well, of course, Tiptonville is bigger than Ridgely. We thought, well, we know that Tiptonville is bigger than Ridgely, number one, and we just kind of had a little bit more swagger. We felt like all the athletes were better from Tiptonville. We just felt like we had it going on up here. I don't know what, you know, if you can point to any particular thing to say, you know, we're better than the kids from Ridgely, but, you know, Tiptonville's bigger, you know, we got a couple more stores and things like that, and we felt like we were a little bit superior than Ridgely. And to say, you know, we would always say, I would never live in Ridgely. I mean, that's like blasphemy. We wouldn't do that.
Yes, there was. There was. Sometime it became quite, there was a small fight now and then. You know, I don't mean it was anything terribly serious, but people became quite agitated from time to time. But then they loved one another also. It was just a football rivalry, you know. So.
And it wasn't that everybody from Ridgely had the problems with the school being built, it was just some of them. Everybody didn't have the problems. When they did consolidate the schools, they didn't have a problem in the school system. When they first consolidated, everybody just went to school together.
Yes, because Tiptonville, I guess Tiptonville wants to be where they are. Tiptonville somehow or another, I guess, thinks that they're bigger, and you've got a lot of people in Tiptonville, I guess, that maybe think they're better, you know, because there's more of, I think, just more of a population and more people concentrated in Tiptonville that work. You had farmers, landowners way back when, and a lot of them were in Tiptonville. A lot of them owned land and property around this area, and they lived in Tiptonville. So you also had outlying areas like Morin was their own community. Mady was their own community. And everybody was just kind of concentrated in little patches. And you had a lot of, I don't know, I guess people just felt that they belonged to that area. Even in Windberg, you had people concentrated there. I don't think now there is a black family, see, because there used to be a school in Windberg. There was a school in Morin. There was a school in Philippi. So every community had, you know, their own group of people.
With all these activities happening, would you say that there never really was a separation between Tiptonville and Ridgely?
And Ridgely?
Yes,
no. The only problem it was is when, like I said, is when the schools consolidated. That's when the problems started coming up. When Lincoln was there, and when Ridgely School was there were no problems at all. They used to play basketball against one another, you know, play baseball against one another. But they didn't have any problems. What problems started is when the schools consolidated. Ridgely did not want, and this is not the black kids, they didn't want the school up here, the high school. They wanted it to be in Ridgely, and so that was what caused the division between Tiptonville and Ridgely, is when they built the school. But they built the school up here because this is the county seat, the courthouse, and that was the reason why they built a high school here. So the consolidation, it didn't cause a lot of problems, but it did cause some problems. And the colors, that was another thing that caused the problems. Tiptonville colors were black and gold, and Ridgely's was green and white. So they had to get together and change the colors when they consolidated the schools. But when I was going to Lincoln, our colors were black and gold.
There's no division there, if you're asking, between Tiptonville and Ridgely as far as taking care of patients. No, ma'am. It's not.
So how would you say the doctor's office in Ridgely and Tiptonville are now different from back than they did back then?
Well, actually, there's not a lot of difference in the practice at all. Things have, medicine itself has changed a great deal since I've been in it, but as far as taking care of people, no. Because we are the same entity as Tiptonville. We are a satellite clinic of this Tiptonville clinic up here. They thought there was a need to open a clinic in Ridgely back in the early or middle 80s. I'm not sure. We the new clinic in Ridgely, where we are now, was built in 1992, one or two, and we went into that building. Before that, we were across the street in what used to be the Fluff and Dry. Yeah, an old building that they just sort of set up and slung together, and we saw patients over there. But anyway, it's not been a great difference at all, no difference at all.
As a mayor, do you see any differences between the two cities, as far as like businesses, the population, as much traffic that goes through the two cities?
I sure do. As a matter of fact, you know, making a living for the last 25 years in the Ridgely area, there is a population difference. Tiptonville has about 2,400 people, and Ridgely only has about 1,800 people. And with Tiptonville being the county seat, we have a lot more state and federal and local government in the city of Tiptonville, as opposed to Ridgely, which doesn't have all of that. It has a city hall, and just about the only entity that's in Ridgely that is a county or a state entity is the county barn. Everything else is here in Tiptonville. So the people are required to drive from Ridgely area to come up here and get their driver's license. They also have to come up here to even mainly do their mainly grocery shopping. The big grocery store is here. Most of the gas stations are here. Most of the doctor's offices are here. All of the county buildings are here. If you want to pay your property taxes, it's all here in Tiptonville. So Ridgely has to interact with Tiptonville much more than Tiptonville has to interact with Ridgely, because there's really no reason for a Tiptonville person to have to come to Ridgely. So the interaction is pretty much one-sided.
Why do you think that Tiptonville has more stuff than Ridgely does now?
I think they were more outgoing. You know, they seem like they push things. And Ridgely, they didn't want to come together to get really what they wanted. But Tiptonville, seemed like the people in Tiptonville demanded, you know, well, we're going to do something about it if you don't, you know. So that's how they got some things done, but not all things.
I think Lake County is fitted for elderly people, since there's not much for kids to do around here.
I think probably as the county, state, and federal offices were being set up, it might have been more fair or more preferential if they had maybe split part of the county buildings in the south end and part in the north end. But that didn't happen, and so we have a reality here that there's nothing we can do about. Ridgely is a viable, solvent, very pretty town. It's more residential and less commercial than, say, Tiptonville is. Also, it's the way God designed it. We have Reelfoot Lake here, and of course, Reelfoot Lake has about 600,000 tourists a year come through here, so you're going to have more tourist interaction in the north end than you do the south end. And I believe that's the reason for more of the commercial growth as compared to, say, Ridgely.
So what would be some activities that you would like to see be put in Lake County to make it more interesting?
YMCA, like swimming centers, weightlifting, stuff like that.
Okay, and if you were to get those here, where would you think they should put them at?
I mean, it's a lot of space, so they can put them wherever.
Like, which city do you think it should be in, Ridgely, Windberg, or Tiptonville?
Probably Windberg.
Why is it?
The split between the two.
Okay, so you said that there is a lot of space for them to put the stuff anywhere.
Yeah.
Why do you feel that that space hasn't been used?
I don't know. Maybe the people that own it doesn't feel the need to put anything right there.
I think there's going to come a time where they're going to be joined together. You know.
Why do you think that?
Because of the business and the things that's going on, you know, today. And to get something, we're going to have to come together. Ridgely, Tiptonville, Windberg, going to be one town, you know.
What would you like to see to come to Lake County to make it more interesting for the children to have something to do?
For the longest, they interviewed us, and I really want to see an activity center, more playgrounds, just different stuff so little kids can get into it, YMCA, just different stuff like that.
Okay, and if we were to get these things, where would you want them at? In Tiptonville or Ridgely or Winburg?
Find a neutral place, probably Winburg be the best. I mean, you don't want them to say, oh, you put it in Ridgely. You don't want them to have all these different lies going out, talking about you put it in Ridgely because of this, just different stuff like that. So you just put it in a neutral zone so we all can just meet in the middle to come and play in these complexes.
So why do you think that we don't have those things?
Maybe people don't know how to take care of those type of things.
So how would you take care of it?
Like I want this county to grow. Like more things to be added to this county.
Do you think that will happen in the near future?
No.
Why do you think it's not going to happen?
It hasn't happened yet.
If we get up out of our comfort zone, where we like to sleep and eat and get fed, as most of us do, we can make it. We can go out and take a stand. And we had to protest against this thing. There's a lot of things we could do as a people. You can't do it by yourself. People got to come together.
So why do you think the people won't come together?
Well, some of them don't know no better. They ain't been taught. They don't want to be taught. I know quite a few people. You go and explain things to them to let them know what's going on in the city, in the county. Oh, I ain't going nowhere. I'm not going to do this. I ain't going to vote. They going to do what they want to do. Not if you get out and take a stand, voice your opinion, voice your choice. But they won't. That's what you call that. It's not what you say, ignorant, but it's something wrong there.
A lot of the open land belongs to farmers, and most farmers don't like to get rid of their land to put buildings and stuff like that in place of them. So I'm pretty sure it's probably why.
I don't think so. Their land is land, although they're not making any more of it. But there are lousy areas of land, which we call them sand blows, or there are good areas of land that you hardly even have to irrigate. The water table is such that you can you can maximize your crop with minimal effort. And so I think that other than there just being good areas and bad areas, and there is wonderful land to the south and wonderful to the north, so I don't think the being strictly agricultural would cause any animosity between the population.
Yeah, we would have a whole lot of activities in Winburg, because I mean it's a lot of space just like Tiptonville. So yeah, I do believe that.
Me myself, Winburg is a very centralized location. 5 minutes from Tiptonville, 5 minutes from Ridgely. Plenty of open land that you can build nice facilities. You don't have to, in Tiptonville, we've got 5 acres that we can build on. Winburg, we've got 25 acres. We got 50 acres. Not only could we build a new high school, we could build a gymnasium that is just awesome. We could build, facilities that are just unbelievable.
The mayor of Ridgely. Okay, as the mayor of Ridgely, I'm the chief executive of the city. My role is to carry out all daily operations for Ridgely. I see that everything is done, all the bills are paid. I bring forth before the board any suggestions that needs to be done to Ridgely, any grants. I search for all grants. I handle all meetings of construction meetings, grant meetings, meetings with the governor, meetings with the senators and the state house representatives to, they assist me in ascertaining grants for the city of Ridgely. It's my duty to carry out all operations of the city to make sure that they all get done.
What prompted you to run for mayor?
Well, I tell you what, we sold the grocery store and I attempted to retire, and I discovered that I have a type A personality, and I thought there's no way I can retire. I got too many ideas and good things I want to do to help our county, and so I thought, well, I'm going to run and see if I can't make a difference. And so I chose to run, and I've been successful. I was successful in the election, and so here I am, and I've got a lot of good ideas, and I hope I can bring them to fruition.
Okay, if you don't mind, would you explain the role of a commissioner?
The role of commissioner, I'm on the budget committee. The role of commissioner is to set a budget for the county and assess the way the money is being spent. We vote on the business part for the county. All commissioners do. Everything has to be run through the commission. Everything that the county does is run through the commission. And we only vote on the business part. We're not anybody's boss or anything like that. We just simply handle the way the money is spent.
What is the budget for Lake County for this upcoming fiscal year?
The budget for this upcoming fiscal year, we're working on it right now. The budget for the sheriff department is $1 million. And each office has their own budget. I'm not sure what they have put in there yet because we haven't went over the budget yet and started working with it. Then the county mayor is working on it, and then he brings the budget committee and we work on it all together. But it's, I think, if I'm not mistaken, it's around $7 million each fiscal year.
We take what's previous year, add to the economy, and then we come up with a roundabout number that fits, but we still have money in the general funds to save us if we do go over budget by certain costs. I mean, you can never predict a major catastrophe or anything like that that may cost more money, but you try to have a little bit set back just in case.
Well, you know, it comes down to economies of scale. In a small county with a small population, you also have a small tax base. And as such, it's hard to finance 2 schools. And so just for the economy's sake, we had to consolidate the school systems into one high school. And so that was the main reason for it. And as you know, in the last 40 years, the population has continued to decrease. Most recently, in the last 10 years, we've lost about 1.5% of our population per year. And so I think now we've bottomed out, and we should start turning that corner now, and we should be all uphill from here.
I think the solution is the people, because I think people need to put that behind them, but that's been many years ago, and they need to put that behind them because it's not going to change. The high school is not going to be in Ridgely. All those people that had all the problems with accepting because the school was up here, they are going to have to realize that it's not going to change. They are going to have to change. But most of the people in Ridgely, though, they have accepted it. At the beginning, there was a lot of confusion between Ridgely and Tiptonville, but now there's not just a few of them that do not want their children to come to this high school, but they don't have any other choice because this is the oldest high school unless they go someplace else.
This is the first time the 2 cities and the county have started working together to try to make our county progress.
What do you think caused that change?
What do I think caused it? People can't work together. People not wanting to work together.
What do you think made them want to work together now?
What made us want to work together? I think that we seen that our county was deteriorating and that something had to be done in order to get something done. For instance, one person can't do anything by themselves. It takes a group to get more done. And I think with the two new mayors here and with me being the mayor of Ridgely, I've seen that we need to work together for years. I think with the two new mayors here, the Tiptonville mayor and the county mayor, they want to work together. They want to see our county progress. They want to see our county grow. We want to keep our young children here if we can. We want to have jobs for them. And the only way to do it is to work together.
Well, if I could change Lake County, I have to say, I had to get up and just every day, and I've got to plant the seed in the people's mind what we need to do. I couldn't do it, but if I could get the rest of the people to join in, we could make a difference. You know, like what Maya Angelou said about the F.O.C.U.S.S. You know, if all of them come together, you got a mighty blow, but just a little slap they apart. That ain't gonna hurt too much, but you ball that fist up. So if we come together, we can do a wonderful thing.
I just like to see our little town grow. Like to see a lot more people get up on board to get more stuff, to bring more stuff into here. Instead of us having to go to Union City, Dyersburg, stuff like that. I like to see a lot more buildings, like food restaurants, and definitely YMCA, Boys and Girls Club down here, so we don't have to travel as much. We can have it right here, just right around the street, so people won't have to complain about gas and all that. Just like to see everybody get on board and just do something good for Tiptonville and Ridgely for a change.
The future of Lake County is sound and secure, and I think the reason for it is our people. Our people are, they always make fun of the young people, but I don't see it that way. I see that is our future. We have some smart, intelligent young people, and they're going to take over our future. And they're smarter in 12th grade than I was when I graduated from college. And so I think I'm proud of our young people, and I know that our future is in good hands. And I'd just like to say that I'm proud to be a Lake Countyan.
Just had to see him. She can't wait no more. The night he'll